Filipino food has enjoyed quite the exposure in recent years, and I know this not because of national recognition and accolades, but because I'm hearing and seeing more and more people being exposed to it beyond just chicken adobo and lumpia. But this kind of recognition once faced opposition from the mainstream and Filipinos as well, but it doesn't mean it's not delicious. I'm here to taste the details of Filipino American food. Growing up as a Filipino immigrant, in school I was embarrassed about the home-cooked meals I'd have for lunch, squirming in my seat as I heard the, "Ew, what's that? That smells funny" comments. This experience isn't unlike what plenty of the chefs behind the Filipino food movement of today have gone through. As Filipino Americans, these chefs were exposed to other kinds of foods growing up. The results are a fusion of dishes cooked from the lens of American-influenced second-generation chefs and entrepreneurs. Here at Lasa, brothers Chad and Chase Valencia bring chefed-up sensibilities and techniques, along with the influence of growing up Filipino American, to the table.
This might be a lot of people's first Filipino food experience, but we also definitely remind them that it's blatantly not traditional and it's Filipino-inspired, that we're Fil-Am and we're second generation.
Is there still some pushback from some Filipinos?
When we started, there was a lot of pushback. We grew up and conditioned to taste our food in a certain way. To kind of challenge those perceptions and those flavors, those memories, those attachments, it's a lot. We had to also see where we could push the envelope on certain dishes. We can't do too far out, we gotta do kind of a little balance, so that way the foundation of Filipino flavor is there, but you still see the creativity.
I think we realized that there is a mountain, and we're just starting to climb that mountain. I think we're just trying to put our flag on top of that mountain. Yeah, we're gonna have to come back down, but our flag's gonna be up there, you know what I mean?
When do you think it's time to celebrate Filipino food?
Once your average Angelino family is considering going to a Filipino restaurant for dinner. Mexican, Italian, Korean, Vietnamese, Chinese. Filipino food is not a part of that conversation yet. So once Filipino cuisine is part of that conversation, I think that's when we did our job,
My mom used to slice these baguettes, and then she would put spaghetti sauce on it and put some mozzarella and some pepperoni. So that's a pizza.
Just bootleg versions,
yeah.
Right? It's a very admirable effort.
It's not the same thing.
It tastes great, but it's not the same
thing.
At Frankie Lucy Bake Shop, Christine De La Cruz used the sudden appeal for ube, the sweet purple yam used in Filipino desserts, as a launchpad for unique baked goods, pastries, and sweets that incorporate familiar Filipino flavors.
We just got so much love for our ube stuff, and they just come in for the ube stuff, but I'm still trying to force feed them other flavors. Well, try this one. And they're like, I just like the ube. To be completely honest, we do get the Filipinos that say, this is not what I grew up with. So absolutely, auntie, this is not what you grew up with. It's not supposed to be. It's basically a new creation. It's something that's totally different. I just hope that at the very least, our food is able to not only just break the mainstream barrier, but also break the Filipino barrier, where people are a little bit more accepting of the Filipino American versions of it.
Here at Mamster, they have a vibrant cocktail program using Filipino ingredients and inspiration.
Since I grew up in the Philippines, I always knew I wanted to bring a part of the Philippines here.
This all supports a popular restaurant that is packed most nights, which is something that I wouldn't have pictured growing up.
We're in America after all, if I wanted a Filipino restaurant with Filipinos come in, I'd put it up in the Philippines.
Yeah.
But we're in America, and that's what we have to do, serve the people.
Once you win the trust, people are like, all right, whatever it is, it's probably dope. Kind of like this purple old-fashioned, it tastes like ube.
We want to educate without educating.
It's this new face of Filipino cuisine that's the product of Filipino Americans applying their experiences and interpretations. Is it Filipino enough? That really shouldn't matter, because what we're seeing out of cities like Houston, San Francisco, Chicago, and more is an exciting take on the cuisine that's generating mainstream attention. Nowadays, I'm reassured that I probably won't get teased over the scent of my chicken adobo. Instead, I'm expecting to slide a plate over to share.